Hi everyone, welcome to the Monday live stream. It is a very windy Monday today in Southern California, and I am so glad you guys joined us. I know a lot of you are in snow. A lot of you are in wind, some of you are in fires if you live here in Southern California or in Northern California. So please stay safe. If you're dealing with any wind or fires, let us know in the chat here. We would love to be able to encourage you and support you. Today I'm live streaming inside because it is so windy outside. In fact, I am going to be walking around a little bit in the house today, showing you a couple of things. We're talking about indoor gardening. A lot of you are in for the winter, and so I thought I would do a live stream on indoor gardening, some of the challenges that you might be facing with indoor gardening, because it is kind of a different animal than gardening outside. But with a couple of tips that we're going to share today on how to solve those challenges, you should be able to grow some beautiful indoor, really simple crops during the winter to kind of get your gardening fix. Because I know if it's cold where you live, you might be dying to have some green around you or even to have something fresh from the garden. And it is very doable with a couple little easy crops and a couple little easy tips. So first of all, I'm going to take you over to my window here and show you the wind. Hopefully we can get a good little gust of wind here to show you. Actually, it's looking a little bit calm right now. We have had gusts up to, now look, when I show you guys, the wind's not even blowing. But we've been having gusts up to about 50 miles an hour. It's been absolutely crazy. It's supposed to be windy for, I think tomorrow's calm, and then Wednesday and Thursday, an even larger wind event. But well, it's calm now, but I promise you guys, it has been blowing all morning long. Absolutely crazy. And so there's no way I could live stream outside. So anyway, welcome. I am so glad you're here. There's a ton of people in the chat before the live stream, just talking it up about all things gardening. So let's say hello, see who's here. If I haven't said hi to you in the chat previously, hello, welcome. Hello, Rebecca. So glad you're here. Let us know where you're watching from if you haven't already. Royal Healthy Living, so glad you're here. A lot of people returning week after week. Jack, Piano Master. Christine, hi, and from Vegas. Angela's Garden Sense. High in the 60s here in Maryland, Zone 7. That's a pretty nice day for Maryland. Lots of wind from Christina. Stay safe, Christina. Hi, Katerina. A Piano Master I know is here. Maria from Miami, and I'm sure it's plenty of sunshine in Miami there. Joshua is watching from Ohio. Lisa J, Rain Bees Plant and Germinating, all kinds of people here. Rebecca, the wind has tore up your beans. I totally feel your pain. My garden is absolutely getting battered and beat up by the winds. I haven't even bothered trying to plant anything new since the last windstorm because it's just getting completely beat up. But we will be replanting soon. Hello to Andy. So glad you're back. We missed you. And let's just jump right in here, guys. I do want to make another little announcement. I talked about this last week, and Christy already popped something in the chat. But I know we're not too far away from Thanksgiving. Looking a couple of weeks ahead, I want to let you guys know that Camera Guy and I will be at the Mountain Mandarin Festival in Auburn, California, which is about 30 minutes outside of Sacramento, California, in Northern California, November 22nd through 24th. Smart Pots is hosting us up there, and the Mandarin Festival is such a blast. It's all about Mandarin oranges. They have some amazing Mandarin oranges up in Northern California. All kinds of Mandarin types of food, drinks, pies, jams, jellies, body care products. It's just going to be so much fun. There's also quite a bit of live entertainment. And I'm also going to be giving a couple of garden talks on the main stage each day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So make sure you check the website at mandarinfestival.com. For all the details. It's going to be a ton of fun, and we would love to have you come out and join the fun with us and bring the whole entire family. I'll be doing some little planting demos at our booth, and along with Smart Pots. It's just going to be so much fun. Camera Guy and I are super excited, and we would love to meet you. So let us know in the chat if you're going to be joining us. I really hope you will. We are just really looking forward to it. It's going to be a ton of fun. Okay, so let's jump into some indoor gardening tips. Now, as I mentioned, indoor gardening is a whole different animal. One of the challenges, first of all, let me talk about some really easy things to grow indoors. If you're intimidated about growing indoors, let me tell you guys, don't be. As long as you keep it really, really easy. And you know, one of my my mottos is start simple. Don't try and grow tomatoes or cucumbers inside if it's your very first time. Start very simple. You guys can see right behind me here. One of my favorite things to grow indoors is lettuce. So you can see I've got some lettuce growing here under some grow lights. Let me just grab one of these so you guys can get a close-up view. And it is possible to have a nice little crop of salad growing indoors during the winter time. It may not get quite as large as it does outside, but I've got these under a really simple grow light setup. And this will make a couple of really nice salads. So if you succession plant and plant some lettuce every couple of weeks, you're gonna have some really nice, fresh, tasty salads during the winter time. So you might not be able to have a whole garden bed full of salads, but at least you can still get some nice fresh greens. So it's so easy and just so much fun. The other thing that I love to grow inside, and you guys, hopefully if you watch the weekend video on microgreens, is microgreens. These are so easy. You don't even need grow lights for these. I'm actually growing a bunch of microgreens in my kitchen windowsill, and also, because I'm running out of space in my kitchen, in my windowsill right here. So the cool thing about microgreens is you don't necessarily have to have drainage. Mugs make really great microgreen containers, or you can plant some, and this one does have a drainage hole in the bottom, or you can use simple little like to-go containers, recycled plastic containers, and get yourself some microgreens growing. It's just so much fun. The other thing that I love to grow inside is herbs. One of my favorite herbs to grow indoors is basil. Now this one has not been under a grow light, super easy. Look how beautiful this looks. I just started this from a little cutting that I pulled off a plant outside, and it is growing beautifully. So if you have the determination to grow inside, you can definitely do it. Sorry guys, the humidity here is down to I think 5%. It is so dry here. And hopefully the internet connection holds with all the wind we're having. So anyway, we're gonna have a lot of videos on growing indoors, and make sure you check those out and grow us, join me. I wanna challenge you guys to the indoor growing challenge. Grow one of these fun things, either lettuce, microgreens, or herbs, and grow along with me. So let me know in the chat if you're gonna be joining me on the indoor growing challenge. Okay, now let's talk about some challenges that you can face when you're growing indoors. Now, the first challenge, and probably the question I get asked the most, is about light. Do you have to have grow lights? Obviously, you don't have the sunshine inside, so you are gonna need some really simple grow light setups if you're gonna grow indoors. Now, with the exception of microgreens, if you're growing microgreens inside, you can easily grow them on a windowsill. You don't even have to have a real sunny windowsill. All of the windowsill I just showed you does not get any direct light, just has indirect light during the day, and they grow absolutely beautifully. These ones were planted on the 16th. So it's a week or 10 days ago. They grow super fast, and they're probably one of the easiest crops that you can start with. But if you're gonna grow lettuce or herbs, you can do without grow lights as well. But if you're gonna grow lettuce, I would definitely recommend to set up some grow lights. Now, that might be a big challenge for you. You might be very intimidated by it, but I wanna tell you guys, don't let it stop you. There's some very easy grow light setups that you can get going. And I'm gonna quickly actually give you a little tour here of my little indoor grow light area. And then you can check out my video on 3 easy grow light setups for more information. But some of them are just super easy and quick to get set up. This is a very simple clamp light. And I just set it in a milk jug with a PVC pipe. And that way I can move the little grow light up and down as the plants grow. I wanna make sure it's just a couple inches away from my plants. And this probably costs about $10 to get set up. Now you are gonna need special grow light bulbs, and you can check out that video on 3 easy setups The link will be in the video description. It'll have all the information that you need in it. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think Jerry might agree that our house is kind of being overtaken by plants. So let me know if your spouse or your partner ever complains about all the plants around the house. Jerry's a very good sport. He doesn't complain, but sometimes, I agree. Sometimes it kind of gets taken over. Another really easy grow light setup is the shop light. It has a bulb in it that has the correct lumens and Kelvin for growing indoor plants. And again, don't let that scare you. I give you all the information and links in the video description. Now, this is actually my fall garden that I had to restart. So you can see I've got some nice little seedlings here. Some kohlrabi and broccoli, I think some kale in here. And here's some little lettuce seedlings that I started, I think on the video just a couple weeks ago. And there I have my cool weather flowers. And there's Mac. He's not too interested in my grow lights. So those are some super, super easy grow light setups that you can get going for your indoor vegetables. And I am going to be trying out a brand new grow light setup in the next few weeks, which I'll be giving you a little video on. Gardener's Supply Company sent me a really beautiful ornamental kind of little bamboo type grow light garden that you can actually attach to a wall or put right on a cabinet or underneath a cabinet in your kitchen, or I might just put it on this little table back here. And I'm really excited about it. It's really, really pretty. It's a beautiful little grow light setup. So I will put a link in the video description for that in case you want to check it out and have something a little bit more ornamental in your house. So these are really quick and simple and fairly inexpensive, but they're not very pretty. So if you want something very decorative, you might want to check out the one that I'm going to link up to. So anyway, lighting can be a challenge indoors. But again, don't let it stop you. There's definitely ways that you can solve that problem with some of these really easy setups right behind me here. So let me pop into the chat now and see what questions we have. I do see a lot of things flying by there. So hopefully I can answer as many of your questions as you can. Okay, great question here from Cherie Nations. Do you have the grow lights on 24/7? Okay, no, I don't. I have them on about 18 hours a day on, and I guess that would be 6 hours a day off. So they do need a period of darkness. Seedlings do need a period of darkness to, just like we need some sleep, they need a little period of darkness to help them grow effectively. So one thing I do highly recommend is grabbing yourself a little timer or a power strip with a timer built into it. And that way you're not, forgetting to turn your lights on or off. And, as much as you can automate things and take the guesswork out of it, your plants are going to be that much healthier. And for me, I forget stuff because I get so busy. So a timer really helps save my plants. Okay, Shirley K, I just harvested my first microgreens. They grew on coco coir on a corner of my dining room table without grow lights. When they were 2 inches tall, I put them under a grow lights to turn green. Shirley, that is so exciting. I love microgreens, and it's always so exciting to harvest something that you grew yourself. And these are just so tasty, and it's such a nice little zip to your salad. So congratulations, I am so happy for you. Now, if you are looking for some microgreen seeds, I've got this microgreen seed collection because sometimes when you're starting out, you really don't know what seeds to buy. These are just easy to germinate seeds. There's nothing really special about them except that they grow fast and germinate quickly and turn into this in about a week. So you can grab one of these at CaliKimGardenandHome.com, and I do have a 30% off sale going today on all my seed collections if you use the code Indoor Garden. So grab those, the sale does end today, and then you can grow yourself some fun little microgreens. Okay, question here from Piano Master. Hi Kim, I'm wanting to start saving seeds and possibly sell them as well at some point, like a farmer's market. Can you do a video on how to sell your seeds and tip for people that would like to try? Okay, I'll put that on the list and see if we can fit that in, Piano Master. Maybe we can also have a conversation about that if that's what you're interested in too. Okay, Nicole, once you cut them, do you have to replant more seeds or do they come back and regrow? Okay, good question here on microgreens. What I found with microgreens is that I get this one really good crop, and then I'll cut them back at the base of the plant. And if you watch the video that we posted on Saturday, you can see exactly how I do that. And typically I might get a little second harvest, maybe a few little seedlings that come up. But if you want a nice thick carpet of microgreens again, you will need to reseed. So what you want to do is after you harvest it, you can pull out the little roots here and you can use the same potting soil. Now I do use a really high quality potting soil. You guys know I love the Good Dirt potting soil. It's very high in nutrients. It's very well aerated to help the plants not dry out quite as much, or the soil not to dry out quite as much. So I can usually get 3 or 4 plantings out of it before I might sprinkle in a little bit more potting mix on the top and just kind of mix it in to give it some extra nutrients. So give that a try and you're gonna get lots of microgreens. So anyway, let's maybe one more question here and then we'll go into our second challenge. Okay, can you grow tomatoes? This is from Mike. Can you grow tomatoes indoors, flowering and fruiting with the type of lights you are using, Kim? Okay. Mike, I have tried growing some small dwarf type tomatoes indoors. Yes, you can grow them with the lights I'm using. You are not gonna get as many tomatoes as you would if you're growing them outdoors because the light is just not as bright and the flavor won't be as intense because it just doesn't have the sunlight and everything else that really makes those tomatoes outside an amazing flavor. A great one to grow indoors is the Tiny Tim tomato. It's about 1 foot or 2 tall. You can grow it in a 5-gallon container, like my CaliKim 5-gallon containers. And it's a nice dwarf plant. And I do have those on my website as well with the Small Space Garden series, I believe. Okay. Let's see. Oh, someone ordered Joanne Sherwood. Great idea, Joanne. Pre-ordered my book. I have a new book coming out in a day before Christmas, actually, to give to my husband to give me for a Christmas gift. Joanne, that is so funny because Camera Guy and I actually do that too. But my book does make a great Christmas gift for all you gardeners out there. Send the link to your husband. It's on Amazon. It's on my website. It's called Organic Gardening for Everyone. Homegrown vegetables made easy, or you can just look up CaliKim on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble, or head to my website to pick one up as well. So pre-order it now. I believe on Amazon, if you pre-order it now, it does arrive the day it's released on December 24th. So make sure you check that out. It's all about making growing your own organic vegetables easy and quick and inexpensive. Okay, let's head into our second challenge here of growing indoors. And I would love to also hear your challenges as well. The next one that is a challenge for a lot of people is watering. So watering is a challenge outdoors for a lot of gardeners, especially if you're new to it. Watering can also be a challenge indoors as well. And again, it's a whole different animal. If you overwater your plants, then you can get diseases, you can attract pests to your indoor garden, and pests indoors are definitely hard to get rid of. And we're gonna talk about that in just a second. But you don't want to overlove your plants by watering them too much, especially inside. Now I wanna show you a couple of clues to look for. It's actually not too difficult once you get a few little tips down. And I do have a whole chapter, or a section anyway, in my book. No, I think it's a whole chapter actually, about watering. And most of it applies to outdoor plants. But you can apply it to indoor plants as well. So little clue here to look for. When the top of your soil, this is a little lettuce container, when the top of your soil turns this light brown color, that's a clue that you need to water your plants. So that's the first thing to look for. Let me show you in contrast, actually, this little container of microgreens. If you guys can see this, can you see how the soil is kind of a darker brown color? I actually just watered this one this morning. This one I haven't watered for a couple of days, and you can see how the soil is dried out and really needs to water. So that's one thing you can look for. The second thing you can look for is the weight of the container. This one actually feels much, much lighter than a container that I just watered because of the water content in the soil. So if you pick up your container and it's light, that's a good clue that you might need to water your plants. And it might take a little trial and error, but don't be afraid to experiment. After you've done this for, a week or so or a couple of days, you're going to really get to know the feel of your plants. And when you pick it up and it feels light, you're going to know that it needs water. So one way that I really do like to water my indoor plants, and again, I'm going to come over here to my little watering pan and show you guys a little tip here, is I do like to place my plants, my indoor plants, in a little pan of water. So I don't have drainage. Now I have drainage in all my indoor plants except for my microgreens, and that's really important too. But I don't have little pans that fit underneath every single plant. So what I'll do is every couple of days, or when my plants need water, I'll fill up a big pan full of water, and I usually have this over by the kitchen sink. And then I will just set my plants in the pan of water for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. And once you see, and it will soak the water up from the bottom. So once you see the soil turn a darker brown color, that means the water is all, soaked up into the plants. See how this one's darker brown? I put that one into the tray about 20 minutes ago. And then I'll go ahead and take this out. And usually I'll set it on a dish towel, like on the counter, to kind of dry it off, and then I'll put it back under the grow lights. So it does take a little bit more effort. You don't, at least I don't anyway, have drip irrigation in my house. That would be kind of difficult. But with a little bit of effort and a little bit of time, you can really have some really tasty veggies inside. So hopefully that'll help you guys overcome the watering challenges. Let me see if there's anything else on watering I wanted to cover. Oh yes, if you do overwater your plants, you can really attract fungus gnats. A lot of times a damping off disease is when your plants kind of keel over suddenly. That can also happen from overwatering. So it is really good to try, just do that trial and error method and really get those watering tips down until your plants have just the right amount of water inside. And you'll find out that you really are much more successful if you water your plants from the bottom. Tammy, yes, that is a gentle way to water those tender greens. Absolutely. You're not knocking over the plants as you are watering them, maybe from the top. Oh, the other thing you can do is a little spray bottle. You can spray your microgreens like this. But I found that really watering in that tray really soaks the water into all of the soil, all of the roots, and that way you don't have to water it near as often because the soil is really saturated. Just make sure that you take them out and don't let them sit in water too long. Okay, so humidity domes. I don't prefer to use humidity domes on my plants. I've just found that it kind of tends to grow more mold in the soil that way. So again, trial and error, see what works for you. That just hasn't worked real well for me, but try it out and see if you like it. Okay, let's see here. Any other questions about watering? Hopefully, if the volume went down, refresh your feed. I don't know, the wind might be doing some funny things to the connection here. Okay, the leaves on my basil has some white patches. This is from Lydia. Do you have any ideas on what I can do with it, please? Okay, that could be powdery mildew, perhaps, although I have not gotten powdery mildew in the house before. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it could be some type of mildew or a mold issue. So what I would do is just pinch the leaves off that are having the issue. Basil, you can actually, the more you trim it, the more it grows. So you can always just kind of prune a couple of these leaves off the top, and then your basil is going to kind of branch off and be a nice sturdy plant rather than a tall, leggy plant. Okay, so let's talk about the third challenge of indoor gardening, and that would be fertilizing. Again, a lot of people overlove their plants by over-fertilizing their plants, and especially indoors. When we're, in for the winter time, we're not able to get outside and we really want to get our gardening fix. We might be over-loving our plants just a little bit and giving them way too much fertilizer. Now, the thing about fertilizing your indoor plants, they're not as large as your outdoor plants, and they don't need near as much fertilizer, especially when they are at this smaller size, like some of these are back here. You really want to, first of all, give them a good liquid fertilizer because that allows them to take up the nutrients immediately. And yes, Cliff, I am too. I really tend to overlove my plants. And you want to give them your organic liquid fertilizer at half strength. And I feel like that's really important. If you give them too much, you're going to see your plants yellowing. You might just see them kind of keeling over, and that could be a sign of over fertilizing. So what I like to do, because all of my indoor plants are in containers, is just give them a nice little dose of the water soluble fertilizer about once a week at the same time I'm watering them. So my favorite fertilizers, I actually forgot to bring these over today, but are the Vermistera worm tea, which is a really nice gentle fertilizer, and also the Good Dirt plant food. The Good Dirt plant food is really higher in nitrogen. So especially for the greens, it really helps with the leafy growth. Now, I don't really fertilize my microgreens too much because I harvest them within about a week and they don't really need fertilizing. But you could, those little seedlings over there, I want to grow them for about probably the next month or so, and then I'll get them outside. But I like to start fertilizing my seedlings when they have a set of true leaves. See how these actually look like, what are these, kohlrabi? They look like a kohlrabi leaf. You have the little baby leaves that are right here that come out when the seed first germinates. Then you have the true leaves that develop. So at this point in time, you would start fertilizing your indoor seedlings. And what I do with this particular one is I put water in the bottom of the tray, and then I put half strength worm tea in with the water, or half strength Good Dirt plant food in with the water, and it really gives them the nutrients they need to grow and be healthy and strong and grow into some nice plants. And the same thing with the lettuce back here, because I definitely am growing the lettuce for the greens because I want some salads. So those will definitely get fertilized about once a week. So remember, guys, on the fertilizing, don't overdo it. Half strength with a gentle organic fertilizer. Put it in the tray when you water. The plants will soak it up, and it'll give them the nutrients they need to grow some indoor crops for you. Because that's what we want, right? We want to have some nice salads, some nice herbs to eat during the winter time. So let me see in the chat here what questions are flying by and about watering, particularly if you have any information or anything that's worked for you as far as watering your indoor plants. Okay, let's scroll back through here. And yes, Christy, our moderator, Everything Sunflowers, just posted a link for the Good Dirt plant food. I think she might posted one for the Vermistera worm tea. You can get it at a discount with the links that she's posting in the chat. So thank you, Christy, very much for posting that. Okay, Nisha, hi Nisha, how are you doing? How are you doing up there in Northern California with the winds and the fires? I hope everything is going well for you up there. It's pretty crazy. And you're asking about how to deal with fungus gnats. I'm actually gonna cover that in my next point, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna talk exactly what to do with pest control. Okay, Andrea Turner. Hi, does anyone have any experience growing in an unheated greenhouse during the winter in a cold climate? I'm in Denmark. Wow, Andrea, thanks for watching from Denmark. And so I have both cold temperatures combined with about 6 to 7 hours of sunlight. Wow. I don't live in a cold climate, so I can't answer that question, but hopefully there's someone out there that can answer her question and give her some advice. Maybe send her a link or something like that. And that's what I love about this community, is everyone is so willing and helpful and willing to share the information. And Rosa, I see your question there about whiteflies on basil, and we're gonna cover that again in just a moment. Piano Master, hi, how are you? I dropped some broccoli seeds in my rocks outside and they sprouted, and I have broccoli all over my yard, and I love that they're doing better than the ones in my raised beds. Okay, isn't that funny? Sometimes we, again, overlove our plants, and the plants that we spend no time on, or the volunteer plants, seem to be the strongest ones. So maybe we need to learn a lesson from that and mimic nature a little bit more. So that's always a good goal. Okay, what soil and what process to repot to bring plants inside for the winter? Okay, to bring plants inside for the winter, the biggest thing that you need to be concerned about is not bringing in any pests. So you're definitely, if you want to bring like a pepper plant in for the winter, or maybe a small tomato plant, what you really need to do is spray them off really well with some water from your hose. Just inspect them, spray them off really well. to make sure that there's no bugs in them. And then what I would do is really give them a good spray with some neem oil or something like that can really help with pest control. And then you may want to, you can either repot them in a fresh pot, or you could just add, so I love Good Dirt potting mix. I think it's the best potting mix out on the market, or Good Dirt indoor potting soil. And you can put a little new layer of that around your plants. And you also want to inspect the soil to make sure there's no bugs in the soil. You could even take your pot out and replant it with some fresh, brand new potting mix before you bring it inside. And that'll help prevent some of the bugs from coming in with your plants. Okay, let me talk about the very last challenge of indoor gardening, and then hopefully we have some time to go back and answer some of your questions. And I really do appreciate you guys being patient. I get to the questions I can, and also give you some of the tips that I can too. Okay, I did forget to mention in the last 2 tips about watering and fertilizing that I do have videos on each one of those challenges. So all the links for the videos that go more in detail about light, about watering, and about fertilizing are going to be in the video description when this live stream uploads to YouTube after the live video is over. So if you missed any of those points, I'll put a timestamp in there so you can go right to the challenge that you're dealing with. And then you can check out the video that goes more in depth. That'll be in the video description. Okay, 4th point, a lot of you are already asking about it, and this is probably one of the biggest concerns that people have about growing indoors is pests. That can be one of the biggest challenges of growing your veggies inside. And we're talking about things like fungus gnats. You can even have aphids inside. You can possibly have whiteflies inside. And the last thing we want is those crazy little bugs flying around indoors. Once you get an infestation inside, it is super, super hard to get rid of. However, we're going to solve that problem by taking care of it before it even comes up. So a couple of things you can do to really help prevent indoor pests. First of all, what I like to do when I am growing indoors is put little bottle caps of apple cider vinegar next to the plants I'm growing. So here's just your regular old apple cider vinegar. And you can put a drop of natural dish soap in it to help attract any bugs that might come up. So here I just have a little bottle cap, a couple little bottle caps set on my windowsill with some dish soap in it. The fungus gnats and the whiteflies like they're attracted to the smell of it, and then they're attracted to it, and then with the dish soap they can't get out. So it really does help cut down on the pests in your house. You can also use white wine or red wine with the same type of thing. And Johnny, yes, great tip there to let your soil dry out before watering, and never had any gnats. So yeah, overwatering can be a huge problem and really attract the flies. So definitely, this one I just watered this morning, so it's super, super wet. So definitely don't overlove your plants by overwatering them, and that'll really help cut down on the disease and the pests. So apple cider vinegar, wine also works. The other thing is you can spray your plants with neem oil, and I don't have any neem oil right here with me today. But that is an organic method of pest control, and you can, again, proactively spray when you can proactively spray your containers before you even plant anything. And the neem oil is great because it disrupts the life cycle of the pests. And this is something that you can do on a regular basis, maybe once a week or so. Just keep a little spray bottle of neem oil and spray the undersides and the top of the leaves. And that will really help cut down on the pest issues. But before you spray anything on your plants, always, always, always do a test spray. So you might want to spray a couple little leaves if you're having issues with whiteflies on your basil. Spray a couple leaves, wait 24 to 48 hours to make sure that there's no damage. And then if there is damage, you will need to adjust the ratio of the neem oil. You're going to be adding soap to your neem oil as well. And again, I have a video that goes in depth about that. So you want to go and watch the video so that you get the measurements just right and are able to really help control the problem before it breaks out. Now, before you spray anything on your plants though, what you can do if you do notice a problem is just rinse your plants off in the sink with water to just flush out the bugs and get rid of all the bugs. And you can even try a little soapy water spray. you know, to help get rid of the bugs first if you don't have neem oil. That is also can also be very effective. And the ratio for that, I believe, is 1 teaspoon of some type of natural soap, like a Dr. Bronner's, or I think Target has a really nice brand of natural soap now. But again, test spray your leaves or your plants first. Okay, the other thing that I like to do too is before you, right after you plant your seeds, just put a little bit of cinnamon on the soil. It has a lot of antifungal properties, and it really does help. Andrea, you read my mind, right? It really does help cut down on some of those fungus gnat issues as well. So hopefully with an arsenal of solutions, you can really cut down on some of your pest issues in the house. And what I have found though is also keeping the air circulating. You might want to put a little fan up or something next to your plants to kind of help keep the air circulating. That helps with the disease issues and just any of those little things you can do to help prevent the pests and the diseases are really going to help you get some nice little tasty salads or microgreens or some delicious herbs that you can just snip and throw into your scrambled eggs or into your salads. Diane, great suggestion. The little yellow sticky tape, sticky traps, and sterilizing the soil work really well too. So that's a great tip. Thank you so much for sharing that. And bugs hate fans, Catherine Little Bear. So you've had some success with that. That's great to know. Yeah, I mean, what bug is going to come and land on your plants when there's a little, you know, soft breeze of air blowing at them? They're not going to like that. So keep a little fan next to your plants, and I think you will find that you'll have a lot of success with it. And don't let that challenge of bugs stop you. Please grow something indoors. Again, let me know if you're going to join the indoor growing challenge, and we're going to have a couple more videos on indoor growing, including lettuce. We're going to talk a little bit about herbs too. So let me know if you're going to be growing anything indoors. We have got plenty of sunshine here in Southern California. I know a lot of you kind of get that gardening itch in the wintertime when you can't get outside. And we're going to be gardening outside. We're also going to be doing gardening inside. And if you're getting that gardening itch and you need your dose of sunshine, stick with our channel. You want to subscribe and share it with your friends too. And we're going to be bringing you lots of California sunshine all winter long. And hopefully the winds are going to die down so we can get back outside. I'm sure they will. Okay, and we do live stream here every Monday with different topics, and it's a great community to be a part of. Okay, let's see here. What questions do we have? We've got a few more minutes left here in the live stream. And don't forget, guys, to check out the Mandarin Festival that Camera Guy and I will be at November 22nd through 24th, mandarinfestival.com. You guys do not want to miss it. If you're anywhere in Northern California or even on the West Coast, I know some people are driving from like the San Diego area and are going to drive up and see us there. Johnny, are you filming the festival? We're not going to be filming like the whole entire festival, but Jerry we will be doing some behind the scenes videos. We want to introduce you to some of the Smart Pots team. They're a really fun group of people. We're going to be hanging out with them throughout the festival. We're also going to be visiting one of the most popular or one of the largest Mandarin orchards up there and kind of getting a little behind the scenes tour of that. So we'll be filming some of that as well. I'll have a booth there with my seed collections, my CaliKim Smart Pots. There's going to be all the Mandarin growers there. You can buy bags of Mandarin Oranges. This is going to be fun. One thing I'm really looking forward to is there's going to be a recipe contest. People are cooking up all kinds of things Mandarin and entering it in the recipe contest, and I'm going to be one of the judges. And I believe that's on, I think, Saturday night. That's going to be a lot of fun, but please check the festival website, mandarinfestival.com, for all the scheduled events. I'll be speaking Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so you don't want to miss that. And definitely Camera Guy and I would absolutely love to meet you. I know there's going to be a photo booth at the Smart Pots booth, so we can get pictures together, you know, all kinds of things, and it's just going to be a ton of fun. So we really can't wait to meet some of you guys. The Mandarin Festival is in Auburn, California, Northern California. So check out, all the links will be in the video description. Nisha, I hope you can make it. I know you're up there. So hopefully you can make it. I would love to meet you. It's going to be so much fun to meet some of you in person. Okay, so Angela, thank you so much. I recently purchased some of CaliKim's microgreen seed collections and we'll be starting them this week. So excited. I can't wait to hear all about it, Angela. I can't wait for you to harvest some of these lovely microgreens and pop them in a salad or on top of a bowl of soup for lunch or whatever. You are gonna love it. These are so tasty. I think these are kale. And it's so pretty. Look at these beautiful kind of pinkish stems. So it's really a lot of fun. Okay, let's see here. What other questions do we have? Yeah, a photo booth will be really fun. Oh, Catherine, packing for a move to North Carolina. Wow, that's quite the move here. Okay, Lydia, can you please talk about how to grow celery after cutting the bottom? Thank you. Yeah, that is super easy to do. I have a video on that, so you can go check that out. But all you have to do is just cut the top, like if you get one of those little celery packages from the store, you cut the top stalks off. And I like to kind of open up the open up the bottom of it too, kind of cut a little slice off the bottom. All you have to do is just stick it in a little jar of water and you're gonna see some little new leaves coming out the top. You're gonna see some roots coming out the bottom. And then within a couple of weeks, you could plant it out in the garden. So I've done this several times. It works great. In fact, I did one, I think maybe 5 years ago, and I'm still getting celery that pops up all over the place. It goes to seed, it falls, or the birds, harvest the seed spread the seed around for me. And every single year I get celery that pops up just from that one time I planted. So it's super easy. That's a great thing to grow on your windowsill as well. You can plant it, you can then plant it in a little container of soil, leave it on your windowsill, or you can plant it outdoors if you want to. It's really fun. Okay, Diane, I just clipped my coleus so that I can make a large Christmas coleus arrangement instead of a poinsettia. That's gonna be absolutely beautiful. That's a great idea, Diane. I would love to see a picture of that. Okay, question here from Teresa. Learn to grow. Hi, starting microgreens this week. That's great. Question here from Teresa. Can you repeat winter veggies in zone 7A? Remind me where zone 7A is. The great thing about winter veggies is, or the cool weather veggies, is that a lot of times they're frost tolerant. So if you already have them going before it frosts, you could either cover them with a simple little plastic cover to help extend the growing season on those really cold nights. Or if they're root vegetables, a lot of times they're gonna do fine in the soil, like your carrots, your radishes, your beets, things like that are gonna do great in the soil, even when it gets really cold outside. So go for it. What I like to do is just get some started inside so that they get off to a really fast start. Like I showed you earlier in the video, my fall cool weather vegetables that I'm gonna be planting outside soon. Get them off to a fast start and then get them planted outdoors. So especially if you're in a more mild climate like I am here, a lot of times you can grow those all winter long. Okay, Andrea, how do you sterilize soil to prep for next year that was affected by tomato and potato blight this year? Okay, I have never actually sterilized soil, but what I know that Gary over the Rusted Garden does have a video on that, and what he does is he puts it on a big pan and pops it in the oven. But go over and check out his video on his channel, The Rusted Garden. Once he puts it in the oven, it kills the whatever is in it that might be bugs or diseases or things like that. And then you can go ahead and plant in it. Learn to Grow. Thank you so much, Marcella. Learn to Grow super chatted $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's so great to see you on here today. We've missed you here on the live streams, and I'm really appreciative of your $20 super chat. It's great to see you here. And I know she's also growing with her adorable little daughter in I believe it's the purple CaliKim and Smart Pots. And she's got a great YouTube channel too. So make sure you go over and show her some love over on YouTube and also on Instagram. She posts a lot of daily updates on what she's doing over on Instagram on Learn to Grow. Thank you. Okay, let's see, maybe we'll grab one more question before we sign off for the day. And here is from Kirk B. I recently purchased the CaliKim purple planter for my wife and planted bright yellow marigolds, and she loves it. Wow, what a great husband, Kirk. That is so sweet. What a great color combination too, with that bright purple CaliKim Smart Pots and then yellow marigolds. Wow, what a guy. So that's great. I'm glad to hear that feedback. Wonderful. Okay, have you ever overwintered strawberries from Remington? Yes, strawberries are actually perennials and they do take very cold temperatures, I believe down into the teens and 20s. Now they will die back in the wintertime. They go dormant in the winter. They're not gonna look like much. The strawberries here may die back some in the winter. They definitely do slow down production in the winter. But as soon as it gets warm, you're gonna see some beautiful new growth. You can, if you live in a really cold winter climate, mulch your strawberries with some hay or some shredded leaves, and that really helps protect the roots during the cold temperatures. In milder climates, you don't necessarily need to do that, but do just make sure you prune them back once the the leaves get brown and that kind of thing, and that'll just help keep them healthy throughout the winter time. Okay guys, this is such a blast. It's been such a great time today talking about indoor gardening. The challenges that we face with indoor gardening can definitely be solved with the tips we share today. So if you missed any part of the live stream, it will upload to YouTube very shortly and you can go back and watch the replay. All the links to the videos I mentioned, the Mandarin Festival, the sale I'm having today, and of course to my new book are all in the video description. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. We look forward to next Monday live streaming, and I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe if you're here in California from the fires and the winds. All right, guys, bye-bye. We'll see you next week.